Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we have a reading for you about somebody who is looking out for you and wanting to see you happy in a relationship. Now, this could be someone who is no longer with us. This could be someone who is a close friend or a family member, but there is this protective and almost like advocate type energy, and it's helping you to get to a place where you connect with a person who is looking for the same type of relationship that you are. So I do feel like you have new love around the corner. So a little bit of a heads up to make sure that your discernment is on point and we're not going to reject something that could actually end up being quite positive for you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hello, hello, yoga. Hello, Key Controller. Hello, Ginger. How we doing? If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. I also have an announcement. I'm getting closer to being able to offer some candles for you all. Thank you for your patience. I will update you hopefully with like some fun images in a little bit. All right, let's dive in with the Pulp Tarot and see what else we have for you. What else do we have about this new love? Three of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Tower in the reverse. So I feel that this reading is for somebody who has taken action to end a cycle that has been kind of frustrating or limiting. This could be a friendship. This could be a job situation, or you weren't happy with where you were living. But I do feel like you have taken action that for other people might have been much more challenging, or there might have been people who would stay in that situation for longer and tolerate it. But the thing is, you could tell that it was impacting your mental health or your happiness, right? So I do feel you are willing to go through a disruptive chapter in your life to right whatever was not, going the way you wanted it to find a different path or to rebuild whatever the foundation was that had a crack in it. So we have the Seven of Cups and the King of Cups in the reverse. I feel like in order to address this, it meant that you were not focusing on romantic pursuit, or it meant that you had to kind of take a little bit of time for yourself, maybe even focus on studies or a job search. Hello, Brown. How are you doing? Hello, Ruhio. How's your day? What else do we have? So you made a difficult choice, but you made the right choice. It's elevated your options. With the Five of Wands, it's like you're willing to put in whatever the effort is, you could run the marathon that is not very challenging terrain, but you chose the marathon with more challenging terrain, saying, I've got what it takes, I can get through this, I can do whatever I need to do to put this behind me and have a better situation for myself. For some of you, this is putting your children first, or making sure you were in the right neighborhood for them to go to the best school. But I see you like putting things where they need to be in order for long-term happiness for yourself. Hello, Vid. How are you doing? Hello, Shadow. I hope you're having a good day. Okay. Hello, Deepak. My name is Carmen. Hello, Dean. How are you doing? Close, but not quite. We've got the Page of Pentacles in the reverse and the Hermit in the reverse. I think you might have started to feel a bit lonely, and that's pretty normal for a spiritual journey or some personal growth or healing what has been not working in your best favor, because this is definitely somebody who has acknowledged friendships that might have been a negative influence, created boundaries where previously there were none, had some of those difficult conversations, forgiven people, but it's like there's dust in the air, right? Things haven't really settled down, even though you've made the right moves, or you needed to take out the tree that had died, even though it was, you know, adding to the ambiance. You made the difficult choice. Nine of Cups in the reverse. Knight of Wands. Moving away from what was not right for you. This could be a complete change for your career. This could be deciding that a, you know, marriage wasn't going to work out, but it entailed a lot of change in your life and a lot of courage. But you had that courage. You still have that courage. So yeah, this is for somebody who has been working on building a new life, making some difficult changes, but knowing that in the long run, it'll be worth it. This is the Noisy Tarot. Hello, Arsa. How are you doing? Thank you. Hello, Thomas. How are you today? Hello, Emma's. How you doing? Thank you. Hello, Mookie. How you doing? Three of Cups in the reverse. Page of Wands. You've become much more discerning, more selective with your inner circle. You might have been quite popular, or you may have had a lot of trouble with the friends that you did have. And it's allowed for you to see the benefit of making sure that the people in your inner circle are contributing positively to your personal growth. There are people who have very different beliefs that can help you understand more about who you are. There are people who might be a little bit behind you on their spiritual growth, but are still dedicated to becoming a better person, that are still very worthy to keep in your inner circle. But I feel like you've identified the ones where it's like, well, you know, it kind of just feels like you're toxic for the sake of being toxic. And I don't need to have that in my life, right? Hello, 999. How are you doing? Hello, Parmeshwar. How are you doing? Hello, Jamaica. What's up? Hello, Ego. Hello, Tulsa. I do offer personal questions after the general reading, which is usually at about 30 or 35 minutes in, with priority to those who tip or donate. If the super chat function doesn't work for you, you can also donate memberships to others, and I will answer questions for you then as well. Hello, Samal. How are you doing? Hello, Mavis. What's up? Hello, Jamoon. Hello, Hector. Oh, Hector, that's actually one of the examples I give as to free questions that I probably won't ever answer for someone. If it's looking like you're just trying to know how to get an easily windfall of money, that's a little bit less connected to spiritual growth or personal growth, right? If, on the other hand, your question has more to do with, you know, what is it that I'm capable of doing, or what am I empowered to change in my life so that I can reach a goal, that's something that's much more compelling for me. Hello, Garang. How are you doing? Interesting. Hello. How are you, Dee? I hope you're having a good day. We have... Wow, okay. So we have somebody who felt like the connection here was mismatched. Whatever that was, maybe you just don't feel like you get along or have a lot in common with people in your family. Maybe you felt like you had outgrown the group of friends that you'd had since middle school, high school, college. Maybe it's just a matter of having this desire to connect with people that you share common interests with. Maybe I need to go to a book club. Maybe I need to start, you know, meeting other people that like hiking. Or crafting the same things that I do. But there was this lack of compassion. It's like when you have friends, but you still feel lonely. And it's helped you to kind of trim a little bit from your life or your social circle. Or, you know, choose a different path for yourself professionally so that you felt more fulfillment from what it was that you were doing for work. There's significant changes here, and I'm proud of you because it's one of those things, like if we were to compare this to home remodeling, it would be like the type of work that people do for electrical, or, oh, you know, there was some water damage there. It's not going to necessarily get you any, what's the word? Like, the sweat equity that you get is usually bells and whistles and, you know, improving the facade. But if you do things that are under the walls that people didn't know about to begin with, it's not easy to rely on that money coming back. You're doing the difficult remodeling work. You're doing the shadow work that people don't necessarily appreciate or see as readily, but is super important. Hello, Osmond. How are you doing? Hello, Proco. What's up? Hello, Rain. Hello, George. Well, it's either for you or it's not, but I hope you're having a good day, DA. Hey, hon, I'm going to delete your comment. You're welcome to comment on things that are not politics or judging people religiously. But if it is along those lines, I will delete and possibly time you out, okay? So we've got the Hierophant and Strength in the reverse with the Ten of Pentacles. You're sticking to your standards, sticking to your morals, you know, setting up whatever life it is that you have envisioned, even though there are people who look at you as having taken steps backwards. So maybe people feel like you have thrown away a career that was really solid. Maybe there are people who felt like you should have dealt with an unhealthy or toxic relationship because you should stay married for the kids, or, you know, being in a relationship is better than being single at your age. There's this like judgment from outside that you set aside, knowing that, you know, whoever is saying those kinds of things probably doesn't really understand true professional or personal growth. It has to be in alignment with what is fulfilling and also probably what pays the bills or what makes you feel like you belong, right? Hello, couple. How are you doing? Hello, Zats. What's up? Hello, Mukesh. Hello, Iwas. How are you doing? We have the Knight of Pentacles and Justice in the reverse. You've had enough experience with injustice or disappointment from others, and I do feel like it enables you to be pretty, like you don't struggle with cutting people off if you need to. I think now you're at the point where you're like, okay, I've done a lot of work removing things or changing things that were not right, but now I'm in more of like the rebuilding. You know, you've taken out the old bathroom and now you're putting in the new cabinets and the new sink and the new shower or whatever. Now it's like the fun part where you're doing, you know, the picking out of where you're going to live or identifying what you want to do with your weekends because they're all yours now. Choosing the right school for your kids, whatever it is, you feel like now you've been able to take the actions that you needed to for a long time that for one reason or another were blocked. And as such, you've been making a lot of progress. The universe has noticed there are good things coming for you, like love or an offer of some sort. Let's get a few cards from the Fairy Lenormand. Hello, Banu. How are you doing? I'm sending healing energy your way. I hope that improves for you. Hello, Space. What's up? Hello, Dashmir. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Mavis on that. And Dashmir, we have had this chat. Please do not. Well, I mean, I would prefer if you translate to English because I don't know what you're saying. But also you tend to bomb my live chat with emojis. Hello, Big Bear. How are you doing? I love it, Zats. Thank you for that. Hello, Joao. I hope you're having a good day. Ooh. I'm trying to figure out if you want that, Joao. Are you a little indecisive on it? See, there we go, Dashmia. I'm going to remove it if you put the same thing up, okay? Hello, Duck. How's it going? Thank you. Hello, Ibrahim. How are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry it was confusing. I think probably because she was coming through as pretty confused. Hello, Latsai. How are you doing? Hello, Cynthia. So we've got, well, if this reading is for you, Cynthia, then it would be a yes. See if it resonates for you. We do have somebody here who previously felt confused or didn't really know how to tackle the foundational elements of their life that were feeling restrictive in some way. Working a job where you weren't able to get paid more. Maybe there was just like the ceiling. There's no path beyond whatever title you were holding. Or a relationship where you felt like you kept repeating the same arguments and there was no resolution being identified. Feeling like your landlord wasn't doing right by the agreement that you had. Or feeling like you just needed to get to a different place and get away from some folks that maybe were just not good friends anymore. But I feel like now we have someone who has identified the checklist. Here's what I need to do. And you've made progress on this checklist. So there's communication coming in, an important message. What is this important message? Okay, so this important message is an opportunity for you to finally, this is like the final boss in a video game. So if you've been getting everything ready so that you can move, but you needed to see how something would go as far as like a job offer, then you're getting that information on that job offer. Maybe it's the actual offer itself. I know the coffin is not necessarily a happy card for many people, but the way I'm seeing this is now you see that something can be final. Now you see that you can put something completely behind you. Maybe it's even notification that a divorce has been finalized. Maybe it's your 2 weeks notice has been accepted. And now you know, oh, okay, well, I put in my 2 weeks notice, but I only have to actually work 3 days. And I'm going to get a little bit of time off for myself in between, right? There's this finality, but it's positive because it's freeing. Hello, Erin. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I think, Joelle, part of it is she has to figure out what's going on before you can really figure out what's going on. At least that's what it seems like for me. Hello, Joseph. Hello, Archie. How are you doing? Hello, Priya. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Fad. How are you? Can I find you a girlfriend? I tell you what, Joseph, hang out in the live chat, focus on the things that are, you know, doable steps that can get you to a better place, work on the confidence, and you might find someone in the live chat who is just amazing, because I know several people in the live chat that are amazing, but I am not a dating service, sadly. Hello, Leah. Hello, Sun. Hello, Cody. I dare you to enjoy your day. Hello, ABM. How are you doing? Oh, sorry. Is it Abin? How are you doing? It is 12:23 p.m. or lunchtime. We have the Four of Wands in the reverse, the Magician in the reverse, and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, I mean, this is like something that may have kept you stuck for a while. You may have felt that there was just too much that you needed to be able to do on your own. It might have just seemed like a very daunting task, but there's something here that's going to make it seem very possible to you. I feel like it's this message. All of a sudden, you get approval for where you want to live, or you get, you know, your start date, or you have that first day of a new job, or you know now what assets are yours and everything's finalized as far as your money. Maybe your name change goes through. There's something here. It's just definitive, right? Now I know what I'm working with. Now I know what my next step is. Now I know how to get to that new life or start building that new situation after a lot of work on yourself and a lot of willingness to put in the effort and take the actions that you needed to get where you want to be. So I'm very proud of you. Hello, Tyson. I'm actually primarily Norwegian. My mama is 100%. Hello, Brittany. Hello, Chris. Hello, Zendrick. How are you doing? You're looking at it a bit. This is what I do. Hello, username. What's up? Hello, Tyler. How are you? Hello, Santos. Hey, Blessed. You're assuming that that is something that I haven't done, which is kind of strange. You could probably ask somebody. But I don't really like it when people are religiously intolerant in the live chat, so I have put you on a timeout. If you want to come back after 24 hours and interact with others in a more intellectual way and non-judgmental way, I welcome you back. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Hello, Panam. How are you doing? Hello, Lucio. How are you? Where are you from? Hello. How's it going, Rambo? Yeah, we're gonna need you to be like 10 times more respectful or mature for that, okay? If not, I can just do a little blacky black. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Hello, Jose. Hello, is it Godfrey? We have the Knight of Cups in the reverse, the High Priestess, and the Hanged Man. You see things differently now. There might have been restrictions or expectations that pushed you to accept circumstances that you really didn't need to accept, or accept them for longer than you needed to accept them for. But you were able to be honest with yourself about what you really needed and what would make you happier. Even though it seemed like it was a long list of things that you would have to do, even though it seemed a lot like doing homework instead of hanging out with your friends, you did it. So I'm very proud of you. You've become more wise as a result, and you see what your priorities more clearly than you ever have. I'm glad to hear that, Erin. Hello, Bob. Hello, 516. DJ David, how are you doing? Oh, I'm sure you could Google that, right, Alicia? Hello, Maharguna, how are you doing? Ooh, okay. We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Some reckless energy here. Hermit in the reverse. Okay, so there's someone that you're walking away from. Now, this could be an ex. This could be a friend who's not happy with you making this change in your life. Or this could be like a family member, right? It could even be a boss or somebody that you are close to at work. But there's someone here who is not happy that you are changing your life. And this is because they prioritize what they need from you over whether or not you are in the life that you want to lead or whether or not you are happy with your life. So in other words, a little bit selfish, right? You know, yeah, I understand you'd make more money or you'd be happier if you lived over there. But if you leave, then who's going to watch my kids on Thursday? If you leave, who's going to be the customer service agent? If you leave, how am I going to pay all the bills? But this is someone thinking about themselves. So the universe is like, you know where you're going, and even though it might be inconvenient for this person who throws a little bit of a fit, that's okay. They're going to have to get used to that, or they're going to have to adjust, right? Hello, I'm trying to figure out how to say your name. Sunepatakum? I made it partway through. I hope that helps. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Oh, thank you, Big Live. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. All right, so this is the Path of Shadows. What else do we have? Self-doubt, key. This, my friend, is the challenge you have overcome. Now, let's just keep in mind that this is really like a little jar that you have big rocks that have been, well, it's a big jar, okay? It's more like a 5-gallon drum type thing, right? Is it called a drum? You know, like the Lowe's buckets, you know? Big rocks at the bottom, then a bunch of pebbles thrown in. So it's like a mixture, right? But the base of this was at how much do you believe in yourself? The core lesson here is, do you feel empowered to make change in your life, even though there might be people who judge you for it, even though there might be people who don't believe that you can make those changes, even though there might be people who would say, my life's that bad too, but I'm just like dealing with it. You know, I just watch Gilmore Girls and everything's fine. You're not interested in escapism or justifying things that aren't working. You want to change, and that's what has actually helped you to build the confidence that has impacted your courage and your ability to feel like you can make those changes when you need to, right? Hello, Lucifer, how are you doing? Hello, how's it going, Precious? Thank you for checking out the live stream. I hope you're having a good day. Happy birthday, Joseph. Hello, Kim. How are you doing? Ooh, I love this card. I love this so much for you. Okay, so on that key card, by the way, it said, sharp insight, opportunities, and hidden potential. Maybe people underestimate you. Maybe people expect you to just kind of have an average life. But the thing is, you're much more capable and you're much more willing to take a risk. Maybe you got a little fire in your chart, a little Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But you definitely have some sort of intuitive insight that maybe other people are comfortable ignoring. Black cat, grace, mystery, psychic abilities. So you are willing to consider things that other people might not consider. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but if I do this change, then I think I'll be happier. Maybe you're giving up a whole career and people are thinking you're crazy, but you know that it makes sense for you. So we have the Mirror and the Evil Queen. Oh, Lord. Self-examination, understanding, and acceptance. I know what I want, and that's what I'm going to go after. Even though there might be some people who don't understand, even though there might be some people who are judging me, even though it might seem like, 1,000 things that I have to do, I'm still going to do it. Even though there's this evil queen. Remember I said there's someone here who's like, you shouldn't do that. You're not going to be able to do that. You're going to fail. Ignore them. Just smile and nod. Where love eludes, fear becomes my throne. What would a rose be without its thorns? See, your magical energy or your improvement in your confidence, your willingness to dream and imagine a better life for you, possibly your family, this is something that might make other people uncomfortable, especially if they have accepted, you know what, I just kind of like hate my life, but I don't want to do all of that stuff. I don't want to divorce someone, or I don't want to apply for a new job, or I don't want to pack up my basement. That seems like so much work, because they're comfortable just complaining about their life the whole time, right? They're going to feel threatened by people like you who are like, you know what? It seems entirely difficult, but I'm going to try anyways. Because if I don't try, I'm always going to wonder what would have happened if I'd actually tried. You make other people feel uncomfortable because you're willing to actually make the change in your life that you need. So don't let somebody who's all judgy make you question if what you're doing is a good thing. Because I think you already know. Hello, Jenny. Perhaps in other decks that would be applicable, but in this one, the Black Cat is about psychic abilities. There's a lot of negative association with black cats that I don't like. I love black cats more than anything. But this card is very clear. It's about grace, psychic abilities, insight. Hello, Ruhal, how are you doing? Hey, Grindhard, what's up? Hello, Matthias. I do not know that language. Matthias, could you translate that to English, please? I just want to make sure that it is not offensive. So we have the Eight of Swords. This is the Graffiti Tarot, by the way. The Eight of Swords and the Page of Cups in the reverse. See, someone feels like you're rejecting them by choosing this other life for yourself. But if they were to be honest with you about why they're against your plan or why they're critical of you, it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you're capable. And it has everything to do with the fact that this person feels entitled to something you offer them. They feel like you need to be an in-town best friend. They feel like they need you to not move away because they want to have a second chance with you romantically. They don't want you to move away because you make their domestic chores easier, or you give them a ride to work. There's someone here who's against your plan because of how it impacts them or because of how it makes them look lazy. Hello, Trafalgar, how are you doing? Have I said hello to Kumar? Hello. So we have the Tower. Look at how cool that card is. Isn't that pretty? Or weird, at least. Thank you, Grindhard. I have added that. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like this person who's getting upset is really just self-invested or self-absorbed. If this is someone who wants to make you question whether or not you should go through with a plan that you've been working on already for a long time, question why they feel that that's something they should do. Listen to see if they have any actual reasons. I feel like they're going to attack your ability to actually make this happen, which just sounds like a lack of support, not like good feedback. So we have Six of Cups in the reverse. Something that holds this person back makes them feel like you can't handle this change. But I'm going to just tell you right now, I believe in you. You can approach this in a way that's strategic. You can make sure that you have the finances set up that you need to. There are resources that you might be able to find, state, federal, whatever it is. But I do believe that you can make this happen. This person who's in your ear trying to tell you that you can't is just threatened by it somehow. How long has she been hiding these love feelings? I'm adding that for you. Thank you, Grindhard. I'm going to dive into those personal questions now. Let's... I tend to avoid this tarot deck because there's a lot of boobies on this tarot deck. And YouTube likes to censor those things. So I might not show you all of the cards, but I do want to use it. So let's see what we've got for Grindhard. Thank you for the flower, Jose. Hello, Alessio. That sounds just a little bit questionable, and I would ask you to be considerate and respectful. So for Grindhard, well, does Micah like how Grindhard treats her? Does Micah like? Yes, there is one thing that is maybe not her favorite. And I do feel like this is pertaining to, you know, if I need a little bit of space. But there is this exciting energy that feels like it's a departure from the things that had gone wrong in previous relationships. So yes, I would say like 95% yes. You get an A on the quiz. How long has she been hiding love feelings? It's the Hermit. This one doesn't have any boobs, so we can just show you that one. We have the Hermit and the Five of Swords. I'm going to go with like 5 weeks. 5 weeks, there's been questions. Is this how I feel? Nah. Well, maybe. Well, no. I don't think so. Meh. There's been some indecision, right? Queen of Wands, Seven of Swords. She's been struggling with being honest with herself, in part because there's been some fear. But this is also, like with this Queen of Wands, there's this, like, you make me feel the way that I had hoped someone would make me feel when I'm in a relationship. So that's very positive. Ace of Cups, Seven of Cups in the reverse. But now it's much less confusing, or she's less indecisive. Things have become very clear for her, especially in the last couple of days. So I like to see that for you. All right, let's see. So Rahul asked for a few cards. What do we have for Rahul, please? Three of Cups in the reverse, Wheel of Fortune, and the Page of Wands. So Rahul, there is something here that I feel like would be a very positive change in your life, but it requires you to speak up. There's going to be a temptation for you to maybe just like let someone else go first, or be polite, or not stake your claim. And this is saying you need to speak up for it, because this is something that would be really good for you. Will Hannah win the lottery? Oh my. Nominally perhaps, but not in a big splashy way. I'm seeing for you, Hannah, more so that you are able to set up like a multi-dimensional resource. So like there's something that you do and you're able to have multiple revenue streams from that. So it could be like you write a book and then you're also able to establish a podcast from that. There's interconnectedness with regards to what your skills actually are. Is there some clarity for Joao, please? Is there some clarity for Joao, please? Literally the Sun card. Sun, Hanged Man in the reverse, and the Four of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, there's instability here in terms of the perception of your connection on Raquel's side. She's being stubborn in some regard. She is needing to look at herself, but she seems to be trying to blame other people. And the question is, how long is it going to take her until she realizes where she's gone wrong? Because it's like she has different rules for you than she has for herself. Or she hasn't really been communicative with others as far as what those rules or what those boundaries are. Thank you so much, Santiago. That is awesome. Hello, Samina. How are you doing? Samina is asking, will there be a reunion with my person, Arun? King of Swords in the reverse. Ten of Swords. Four of Swords in the reverse. I do not see reconciliation for the two of you, because someone is refusing to be honest about what happened or who was accountable. Could even be both of you could have done something better, right? But we have this denial or deceptive energy. Misremembering is what's really coming through. I view what happened as something that you did wrong, because I don't want to accept responsibility for what I should probably be fixing. So we have somebody who feels like they have to keep in place a boundary, or they have to be cold because they don't want to admit that they did something wrong. Is Lady Luck back on Aaron's side? Ooh, yes she is. Can I show you this card? I have to like just kind of cover one little thing here. Look at it. It's like she's giving you a high five. Aaron, yes. You good? Just make sure you're keeping your side of the street clean. And I see a 10 of cups. So there's something that's improving with regards to your sense of belonging or your living situation. All right, y'all, I'm going to leave it there. I love you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to. And I will see you on the next reading.